either does discrimination. So I don't know about that one. We'll see what happens with Mike Tomlin and the Rooney Rule. I just don't even think it should be called the Rooney Rule anymore. They need to restructure the whole hiring process. They need to build a team and a committee that says, okay, we are taking this out of 32 teams' hands as far as like they get to decide and then it looks good or bad on the shield. We're going to step in here. You represent the NFL. We're going to give you the tools you need. We're going to help you with the right people in hiring. There's some talented people in hiring that they can find and put on a committee. And they also could put together some people to find the right coaches out there. And I mean, we've talked through this a bunch last week and this week. Let's go back to the phones. Carlos is in Deer Park. What's up, Carlos? You're on the fan.
Hey, what's going on?
You know, hosting the show, holding it down Monday night on the fan.
I love it, Keith. I love it, man. I just wanted to touch base on this, what you've been talking about with the whole Brian Flores, the Lovey Smith thing. I personally think you're totally right, man, that they kind of just take to the card of, almost kind of like you said, the whole cancel culture. They almost play into our card or, the fans' cards of all the complaining and the moaning that people are making. And instead of hiring the best coach out there, they went with, all right, well, Lovey's been with us for a year. He's a black coach, let's tell him next year.
Yeah, they went for the PR play in the moment versus an actual play to be competitive in the next years to come. They don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. They just hired a head coach that is way past his prime, in my opinion.
I think they know their quarterback could be Davis Mills. I mean, the guy got for nothing for what he had. He played pretty decent for a rookie. But what I was really going to say is, to me, if I was Lovey, I would kind of take it as an expense because whether he feels he's qualified, which he is, like you say, he coached the Bears, he took them to a Super Bowl, granted they lost. But it's like, if they did it for that reason, if I'm Lovey, like, I almost wouldn't even take the job. I'd rather
No,
stay
of
as
course
a
he's
coach.
there's only 32 of these jobs. They pay well, and to have control of an NFL team, he's getting to do this for the third time. Thanks for the call, Carlos. And that's what we'll never actually know, right? Black people, black people getting the jobs, white people getting the jobs, not getting the jobs. What we'll never actually know is the motives and thought process, because sometimes it can be as small as a whisper behind the scenes. Hey, not him. Nope. Other guy. And are black people supposed to say, hey, I don't want this job? Lovie Smith's like, I'm an NFL coach. I've done this for years. And, there's a whole counter argument to say, well, if we're looking at possible head coaching candidates, maybe the Texans didn't want to hire someone that never done it before. Like the Dolphins. I heard Carton ripping the Dolphins, and Carton had a tweet basically about, how they keep hiring coaches with no head coaching experience. Same with the Giants. Ben McAdoo, Pat Shermer, Joe Judge, Brian Dable. Those are 4 coaches in a row that had never been head coaches before. So, I mean, if I wanted to counter my own argument, and then, Carton tweeted it out too. He said the Miami Dolphins have now hired 9 consecutive head coaches, interim not included, with 0 NFL head coaching experience. Seems like it's working really well. There's a counter argument to say, no, the Texans were playing it safe, and they had a experienced coach in the building. I didn't want to, go against my argument. I had to at least get my open and my thought out first. But there's a counter argument to this. And I thought about this as I was thinking about what to say tonight. But the counter argument, hey man, there's a lot of head coaches being hired that never done it before and they failed. Maybe the Texans are saying, we have a former head coach in the building who was associate head coach to the coach we just fired. Why don't we give Lovey a shot? That'll save our search. That'll save us from worrying if the guy knows what to do in certain positions. Like, arguably, we have one of the most experienced coaches in the building that we can hire. I don't think that was a bad thing. But that's the counter argument to hiring a Lovey Smith. There are other coaches out there with head coaching experience that won more than Lovey Smith. Go back and look at his record at Illinois when he was head coach at Illinois. It wasn't like Illinois was fighting to keep him, right? He left and was able to sneak into the Texans' job as a defensive coordinator. Like I said, they were 31st. So what did he really do? Jason out, 3 hole. What's up, Jason? You're on the fence.
Yeah, how you doing, Keith? Once again, you love the show. Big fan.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Just two quick questions, if I may. So number one over here, so just to fix that, deal with the NFL football consensus, you know, a good idea from the outside, personally, I feel like from the inside, this is motivation for the owners and for the team, for them to, you know, give the coaches the honor to be their head coach, but driven by incentives and not by, you know, driven to just give an equal opportunity to everybody else. So how does it tackle the problem?
It doesn't necessarily, like, it doesn't tackle the core of the problem. The core of the problem is that these white owners are not, hiring black coaches, and we believe that they are not getting a fair shake, a fair interview process. But the problem that it can tackle is the numbers. It can tackle the optics. From the outside looking in, okay, you got to walk before you got to crawl before you walk. Like, from the outside looking in, the numbers can slowly start to increase if there's incentive, if there's a committee, if there's people monitoring these things, versus the history that the NFL has of decades and decades. Like, I look at that kid as he's going to, 6, 7 Super Bowls before it's all said and done, because just what he's able to do this year. They're going to get better. They're going to build that offensive line and that team, but I just think, it's the end of the road for him this time around, because it's all about matchups. If your weakness is that offensive line and you're going up against Aaron Donald and Von Miller with the Super Bowl on the line, one game, I know I wouldn't want to be blocking that night. I think it's the Rams, LA. Bring the Rams back to LA and SoFi Stadium, a brand new stadium. Dr. Dre and Snoop and Eminem and Mary J. Blige and Kendrick Lamar performing. How does LA not win the Super Bowl? I think we see back-to-back years where the host team hosts the Super Bowl and wins it, and then we don't see that ever again. Maybe it has to reset. I don't know. Keep it Christian on the fan cam, the AM. We gotta take another break. Let's take a quick timeout. Hit it, Paulie.
Extensions, music stations you can only get on the Odyssey app. BetQL Hot Streak. Feeling lucky? You covered with great music to make some money too. Featuring songs from The Who, The Rolling Stones, Billy Joel, and more. Search for BetQL Hot Streak on the Odyssey app to listen.
I had a lady that was in her mid-70s, and I sold her timeshare, and that was the lowest I'd ever felt in my life. I knew then that I had to do something to simply not to go to hell for selling timeshare.
Chuck McDonald founded Wesley Financial Group to help folks cancel their timeshares permanently.
Called her and everybody that I'd sold timeshare to, and I said, this is what I said to you that was over, and this is what you need to do to cancel your timeshare. From that point, they started referring friends to me to help them cancel a timeshare, and that's how it all started. I fought the world's largest timeshare company in federal court. If I had lost that lawsuit, there would be no one helping people that have been lied to when they bought timeshare. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare contract, or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley Financial Group now for a free information kit. 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155. 800-785-1155.
Specifically to your business, and you can save up to 30% with no hassle and no
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive Viagra is available in generic form, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED for a fraction of the cost. And hence makes it extra affordable. The generic form of Viagra has the same active ingredient, but is 90% cheaper. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to 4hips.com/joy. That's right, free. Zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. HIMS connects you to medical providers online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. Then a certified pharmacy sends it right to your door. HIMS makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to HIMS, nobody has to, and that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
Yes. Used to seeing like a full-on media scrum, and these guys being on podiums, and reporters coming up to take pictures and videos and talk to them. I guess we're not there yet. They're in LA. I don't know. Kind of takes something away from it for me. You know, seeing media day in the years where it's like, you know, Marshawn Lynch up there looking cool with the shades on and everybody around him just trying to get, you know, a couple quotes out of him, or Tom Brady, everybody trying to get the, you know, Tom Brady clip or pick or whatever. With this remote stuff, it takes something away, and I don't know. It's not as entertaining, but I'm watching it now. Got my eyes on the Super Bowl coverage out there on ESPN. Gotta go to my guy Simon. Simon has been holding with the Yankee talk. Simon, I've been trying to shift the conversation to the Yankee talk. Ben, Rob, Johnny, keep holding. We'll finish off the Brian Flores hiring process of the NFL talk, but I gotta go to Simon out in New Haven, Connecticut, so we can talk Yanks. What's up, man? You're on the thing.
Hi, Keith. How you doing?
All right. Thanks for holding so long, man. I've been trying to get to you.
I enjoyed what you're doing. I wanted to make some comments about the Yankees, if I may.
Please do.
I understand that the Yankees are thinking about moving Gleyber Torres from shortstop to second base because he makes errors, but why do that? I mean, how do you know he's not going to make errors at second base? And, you know, we do have LeMahieu. And also about Brian Cashman, we got to get rid of him because it seems to me all this guy cares about is climbing down the wall every year and sleeping outside for charity. I mean, every single time he does this, we lose. You got to focus on this team. You want this team to get better? We're not paying him to sleep outside and climb down the wall. He wants to climb down the wall, get a job in the Chrysler building. I mean, come on already. It's like the Wolfpack. They don't care about the Mets. Cashman is the same way. I mean, don't get me wrong.
So, I mean, I'm laughing because those things are outside of Cashman's job. We see that, right? We see him repelling. We see him sleeping outside. He's doing that for charity. He's doing that for a good cause. It's just funny when I hear Yankee fans like, yo, what does that have to do with anything? It's like he's doing things outside to make the Yankees better.
Idea for Mets and Yankees trade.
Okay.
Suppose we give the Mets, we give the Mets Clark Schmidt, Gleyber Torres, and Luke Voigt. They give us Dominic Smith and Jeff McNeil. McNeil can play third. You put Urshela at short and put LeMahieu back at second, because I like LeMahieu at second base. I don't know who came up with wanting to move Gleyber to second. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I got you. That trade, I'd be down for that trade. Thanks for the call, Simon. What I'll say about Gleyber Torres is the first thing Simon said. Simon says, why are they moving Gleyber Torres from shortstop to second base? Well, they're actually moving him back, and that is done. That was done last year, right? At the end of last year, you saw Gleyber lose his job as the starting shortstop and get moved back to second, and I feel like the Yankees have done a ton of catering to our young prodigy, or who was supposed to be our young prodigy. And then when you mention DJ LeMahieu, that kind of gets us in a jam with DJ LeMahieu, because we signed DJ LeMahieu last offseason going into this past season to be our everyday second baseman, 6 years, $90 million, to kind of pay the guy back for the 2 years that he played for the low. He came in here on 2 years, $24 million, and was the MVP, literally. Was the MVP of the team, and in MVP conversations and MVP voting, had back-to-back MVP seasons for the Yankees when a lot of people didn't know if he was going to have a spot. You know, fun fact and trivia question down the line is going to be, what player wasn't in the opening day lineup in 2018? It was DJ, man. DJ wasn't in or 2019. DJ wasn't in the opening day lineup in 2019, but I believe Troy Tulowitzki was, and that doesn't make sense. But then also back to Cashman. Simon said we got to get rid of Cashman. That's not a thing. You're not getting rid of Brian Cashman. Brian Cashman, like, is not going anywhere, and I'm fine with that. I think Brian Cashman gets a tough rap. He's got one of the hardest jobs. And I also think people get ahead of themselves and don't realize, like, he's not done. Like, we don't know what his roster's going to look like going into this season, and we don't know how that roster's going to perform, so slow it down some. And Cashman gets no credit for the good things he's done, right? Cashman doesn't get the credit for the good moves he makes. He only gets brought up when something doesn't go right. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair for anybody. Cashman doesn't get a pat on the back for, Giancarlo Stanton. When Giancarlo Stanton becomes what he becomes as a Yankee and carries us, they were just ripping on him for years about, oh, we didn't need another Judge. We didn't need another $300 contract. We didn't. Oh, wait, he just hit that ball a mile. Thank God for Giancarlo Stanton. Wow, Stanton going Barry Bonds. Ooh, what would we do without Giancarlo Stanton? Well, thank Cashman for going to make that deal, getting that done. And there's a bunch of other ones, but that's just an obvious one. So to answer, Simon says, why are they moving Glaber? Glaber could never play short, bro. I hate to admit that, but I was at games. Shout out to Joe's McFly. We were sitting in 103 watching Glaber in April of last year, and we were both like, I don't know. Like, there's no way he's going to be, if he can't make these simple plays, if he can't pick up these ground balls and fire the ball over consistently, like where we're worried about throws, I'm like, this is the first month of the season. I know it's cold, but these are routine. He was making the routine look difficult, and in my mind, I said, I'm like, I don't know if he's a shortstop. If this is his first full season, because with the 2020 season, I kind of gave him benefit of the doubt, I guess, because it was a small sample size, right? That was a perfect excuse for the Yankees. They saw him fill in for Didi in 2019 when Didi was hurt. That was a small sample size. They took that small sample size, and I guess what they had heard about Gleyber Torres years prior, that he projected as a shortstop. They took the projection, they took the small sample size from 2019 and 2020 and said, yep, good enough. That's our shortstop of the future. Don't need to bring Didi back. Don't need to sign one. Let's sign our second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, and Glaber. Those two guys will be the middle infield. So it's on the Yankees to fix that, right? That was the Yankees' decision. They chose to make Gleyber Torres the shortstop. He failed. They chose to move him back to second base, which now gives us a problem because we have a 6-year, $90 million infielder who I think is going to be used as a utility infielder. I don't want him to be our starting first baseman. I don't want him to be our starting third baseman. I think it's kind of bogus to have a $90 million utility infielder, but this is the Yankees. We're going to rest guys. Guys are going to get hurt. There's going to be a point in time where he's not a utility, where he's starting every day. We just got to, see who hits the IL first. But let's go back to the phones and finish the conversation. I see y'all holding on the NFL hiring process. Lovie Smith, Brian Flores, all of that. Let's knock these calls out, and hopefully we can get some more Yankee calls. Lou in Astoria, I see you with the Yankees call. Yankee fans, call me up. Tell me about Freddie Freeman. Tell me about MLB not testing for steroids now. And tell me about what you think about the lockout. And then hopefully for the rest of the night we can get into conversation on when we think baseball's going to start and what the Yankees absolutely have to do as soon as that light turns green and they're allowed to make moves. So, back to the phones. Ben is in Brooklyn. What's up, Ben? You're on the fan. Ben, you there? That's one less call on the NFL hiring process. Brian Flores, fine by me. Rob in Babylon, you're on the fan. What's up? Popcorn Rob, my guy. WFAN favorite. Welcome back.
I would say one thing. First of all, I want to, pay homage to, law enforcement, Suffolk County Department of Corrections, and these guys. And I'm going to say this. They have a sheriff. His name is Tulon, right? And he's a Suffolk County sheriff, right? And he was voted in. He's a black. He's the first black sheriff in Suffolk County. Now they had an opportunity to, vote in just because he was black. Oh, no, we don't want to. But when they see the quality in the individual, they're going to hire. And the reason why I'm going to say this is that you didn't have a lot of black folk black guys who have the interest of taking such jobs. And that's just like with the NFL. Because if you look at it per capita, right, you'll notice that even in the years that we have these head coaches and general managers, the interest was just not there. We are more of a we do it out on the field. We entertain with our performance on the field. And so, and another thing I'm gonna say, we have opportunity to go in and buy a team, but at the same time, look, the New Jersey Generals, they wanted to make, a new USL football league. I remember Donald Trump had the New Jersey Generals. And the first person that he signed the contract was Herschel Walker. And that was the first $1 million contract. But they say that Donald Trump was a racist. So the reason why I'm going to say this is that sometimes we gotta take possession and ownership of our own, control in what we can do. You understand what I'm saying? To me, every single company that us as African Americans own, we sell. Look at Fubu. Look at Russell West Production. Look at the West Coast.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I could talk about it forever. There's a larger conversation.
Right. No, what I'm only saying is, Keith, is because we got to realize that you do have an opportunity to change it by not only showing interest, but if you can't beat it, buy it. And don't sell it when you get to that, plateau.
Thank you, Popcorn Rob. My popcorn is ready as always for a Popcorn Rob call. What I'll add to what Popcorn Rob said, this is the biggest part I took from it, right? He said that, and whether this is true or not, he said that, black men didn't have the interest, let's say 40 years ago, to be head coaches. And I wouldn't say that they didn't have the interest. Being a coach is being a leader, being a teacher. The interest is there. But representation matters. You need to see yourself as a coach to think that you can be a coach. Now, some people think outside of the box and want to be groundbreaking and be the first, but not everyone is thinking that, right? When I was growing up as a young man, I was seeing black men play football, play basketball. That's why I wanted to. I'm seeing myself on the television. I'm going outside and playing with my friends. As I get older, I'm learning that this skill set, playing this sport, can afford me opportunities that wouldn't usually be there for me. And that is how I get to my next point. It takes time. The opportunities aren't always there for us. And when you talk about a position like a head coach, it takes time for more qualified black head coaches to emerge. I think now we're in that time. Brian Flores is right to do what he did and bring this to the surface. I don't know exactly if he's going to win or how it's going to go or whatever, but it's clear that there's a problem here. And I just want to make sure that people aren't just jumping on top of the NFL and all of these accusations and all this stuff. It's just so easy in this cancel culture today to pile on and call someone or something or a whole organization racist. That's not fair. And I understand that with racism, it's very much a he said, she said thing. And a lot of times it's a feeling. I can't tell you how many times in my own personal life I've felt racism and kept it to myself and didn't jump out of the window. Because if you can't 100% cite something or point to something that says this is racist, then you could be completely wrong and you might not want to jump out there and accuse somebody of being racist publicly or privately because you can't undo that. Hence where Brian Flores is, and now he's putting out a statement that he should have been hired as the head coach of the Texans. Maybe that could have happened, but you decided that a head coaching job was not as important as taking a stance. I commend you for that. You gave up your career as being a head coach in the NFL. I think that's effective as of today. Now that all of the spots are full and you chose to take a lawsuit against the league, that's great. Hopefully it does create some change, but you're effectively out. And I think it's kind of strange for your lawyers to be like, well, it was obvious that he was a better candidate than this other black man, and that goes back to what Popcorn Rob was saying. Like, black people have to support their own. Black people have to build their own and have to take care of their own as well. It can't always be this give me, give me, give me. It can't always be this, well, we're owed, and we're the minorities. There's a smaller number of us. You have to make it right. Well, that's not how it's gonna work. Like, it takes time. We're getting there, and obviously this is a conversation around the NFL and their hiring practices, but there's a much larger conversation that really doesn't need to be on WFAN. You can have those conversations anywhere else. But I will continue with the calls on Lovie Smith and the hiring process. Johnny in Rockland County, you're on the fan.
Hi, G. Thank you for having me on.
No problem.
You have a nice show.
Thank
So keep up the hard work. It's going to take a good 18 months to get the ratings up, get the word going. But
Yeah, I'm committed. I'm working hard. And thank you for calling and saying that. And everyone that calls in that compliments or, gives me like a vote of, confidence or just, signs off on that means a lot.
All right, I'd like to make 2 points. The one with the Rams, the one with Lovie Smith. I think I'll start with Lovie Smith. Obviously, we don't blame Lovie Smith for taking a job. You have that opportunity, you just go for it, and that's it. You throw caution in the wind and do the best you can. But what I don't like about it is Houston is a disastrous organization right now. They're still dealing with the Watson situation, which is, of course, a mess, a class action lawsuit. No free agent is going to want to play there. And I don't even think Houston's going to even give an offer to a free agent with all these amazing free agents this year. They're not going to try anything. They're going to save their money, and their only recourse, because they are a disaster, is to tank. That's all they can do. And who's going to be the fall guy?
Lovie
Smith. He's going to be lucky to win 5 wins this year, and next year he'll be lucky to win another five games. Okay? So when it's all said and done, after the smoke clears, we have another black quarterback, another black coach who doesn't know what the heck he's doing.
And gets fired. And then people are going to say, oh, we're back down to Mike Tomlin. It's like, well, we knew this.
That's the problem. That's what makes this situation terrible. We know most likely Houston was doing a solid for the league, but Houston was doing themselves a solid because now they got something to tank.
Right, they're going to tank, in my opinion.
Of course. I mean, what do we think Vegas is? You're a smart man, you know all the betting stuff. What do you think Houston's over-unders wins are going to be there?
Right where they're at this year. Over-under is going to probably be at 4.5 for them next year.
4.5 out of 17 games. Out of 17 games, over-under.
Right, and we had a caller say, I was like, they don't even know who their quarterback is. Deshaun Watson's not going to play. And we had a caller say, oh, Davis Mills did pretty good this year. He's going to be their quarterback. And I didn't say it in the moment, but I thought about that. And when I went on the break, I'm like, look at the Super Bowl. Look at the quarterbacks in the Super Bowl. The Texans do not have a quarterback that did pretty good is okay, I guess, if you're trying to win 4 or 5 games. But the Texans got to get a quarterback. Everybody has to get a quarterback if you're trying to get to the ultimate goal, which is the Super Bowl. You're not getting there with a Davis Mills, so what are we talking about?
Dude, the AFC is stacked. The Colts who are in their division are going to put their foot on the gas pedal. The Titans are going to put their foot on the gas pedal.
The Jaguars hired a new coach.
Watch how they think outside the box.
They're gonna be last in that division, and people are gonna be talking about this Lovie Smith hire. Wait for it. And these every time I'm on the radio. Thanks for the call, Johnny. Every time I'm on the radio, these episodes get podcasted. These episodes get saved in the podcast app and the Odyssey app. And I look forward to looking back, not just on this, but on many things that I'll say. I'm sure there's gonna be some things I'm dead wrong, but there's also gonna be a lot of things that I'm dead right on. And I look forward to looking back and being like, no, on Monday, February 7th, when they announced Lovie Smith, I told you guys, like, this is not new stuff, and it won't be a shocker. The shocker will be Lovie Smith returning to the NFL as a head coach and winning 10 games in his first year with this Texans roster. That would be a shocker, and I'm rooting for that. I'm rooting for everybody black, so go get him, Lovie. You got it, bro, but I just look at the situation from all angles. That's what I encourage you to do. Think and look at the situation from every way that you could look at it, look at every take or possibility, and then zero in on what you believe. And what I believe is that Lovie Smith was not on anybody's radar. Lovie Smith was not even rumored as being connected with them when the coaching cycle started. When they fired David Culley, he was literally in the building. He was literally their defensive coordinator, and nobody suggested, hey, Lovie Smith can be the coach. So, what does that say? Anthony out in Newport, man. Talk to me. You're on the fan.
Hey, Keith, how you doing, man?
I'm all right. Just trying to switch up a little bit of the conversation, but, you know, it's on the callers.
Yeah, man. And listen, you do a great job. I love listening to you. And, you know what? Keep on going, man. You do a great job.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
But I just want to, you know what? I wanted to talk about Cashman a little bit because I got to tell you, I don't want him fired. I think he's done a great job over the years. But the one area that I feel like he hasn't been able to get right is the starting pitching. It's always been our Achilles heel for a long time, and it's just surprising. After this amount of time, he hasn't been able to get it right in that department. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, he's missed a bunch, and it seems like we just haven't had a powerful or strong enough rotation over the years. There's always holes in it.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, you know, and you can take flyers on guys, and that's cool. But you can do that when you have a solid rotation where it doesn't really hurt you. But when you're dependent on those guys to be, you know, like Kluber to be your number 2 starter, and then they get hurt and they go out, you know what? It just has too much of an effect on the team when you don't have a rock solid rotation.
Or backups, or like a backup plan. Like, you shouldn't have to pitch Asher Wojciechowski in any of the games as your starter. You shouldn't have to roll Nick Nelson out there. You shouldn't be hoping that Luis Heel comes up and can pitch for you in a tough spot as a rookie. Like, they didn't really plan that great. I hope they plan better this year, but as of right now, they can't really do anything to shore up the plan, so.
Yeah, I mean, I like Hill too. But you know what? It also comes down to scouting, man. Like I said, when we're getting it wrong year after year, you know, we got to kind of reevaluate. But anyway, man, just wanted to check in and have a great night. Thanks again, Keith.
Yeah, no problem, Anthony. All right, let's take one more call on, let's see, on my guy Andrew out in Portland. He'll have a take on Brian Flores in the NFL and maybe a word on the Yanks. What's up, Andrew? You're back on the fan.
Hey, Keith, thanks for taking my call, big fan. Yeah, I mean, as far as the Yankees go, we got to see what happens coming out of the break with the signing. It's going to be a big teller as far as the direction of the Yankees going into the season, whether or not they go cheap out of the gate or, you know, as far as shortstop goes, or if they make a couple moves. So we'll see as far as Frank Hess and the Yankees go. But, you know, as far as the coaching in the NFL goes, the one point that I keep looking at is the case of Eric Bieniemy, because Eric Bieniemy is by far the most qualified, in my opinion, the most qualified, overqualified coach in the NFL that does not have a head coaching job. And that comes from recent success of the Chiefs dominating all year and turning around early struggles into a postseason run. And past success. They have had, four straight AFC championship games. So this man has proved recently and in the past that he can win Super Bowls. And yet, when it's Byron Leftwich with Tampa Bay, when it's Eric Bieniemy with the Chiefs, their shortcomings of not being hired as head coach always stem from, you know, it's the Chiefs. There's Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes with Byron Leftwich out in Tampa. It's, Tampa's got Tom Brady. I mean, come on, that's all your success. So anytime it's a coordinator who achieves massive success as far as football coaching goes, it's always a product of their environment and the team. But that was never the case with Josh McDaniels. You know, I believe you said that Josh McDaniels was the best head coaching hire in the NFL.
I think the Raiders went from John Gruden to Josh McDaniels, and that's a huge upgrade.
Of course, but you know, it was never really brought up of his product of the environment playing in
being
New England or.
great deals, all within everyone's budget.